So we're just talking about how jobs and AI, that's the bubble that everybody should be talking about, not the AI bubble. Everybody should be talking about the jobs bubble. And I think in some ways, everybody in America is. I mean, honestly, why would you go to college? I mean, anybody who is sending their kids to college, unless it's for something very specific, or you just want, your kid to find themselves and to, whatever that is. Why are you doing it? I'm begging my kids, trade school, because that is the job. Those are the jobs of the future. Trade schools. You be a plumber. I don't know how long that's going to last, maybe 10 or 15 years, but that will last longer than, let's say, truck driver. That'll last a lot longer than attorney, physician's assistant. Well, maybe a physician's assistant, a PA probably will last a while. Nursing will last a while, but the doctors, I mean, you don't need as many as we have right now in the future, because it'll be able to be done robotically. And I know this sounds crazy, but it's coming. It is coming. Now, we need doctors. So yes, go to school for a doctor. But what else? Why are you going to school? Accounting? Business? Really? You need that degree?
Had the same conversation with my son.
Doesn't like it, does he?
Does not like. Doesn't even want to talk about it. There's this weird apathy. Yeah, it is depressing. But they completely shut down and get uninterested over anything. But I told him, I even offered him. I said, I will go to electrician school with you. We were going to do it at night. I was going to do it just to learn another skill. And he didn't even want to talk about it.
You're that confident in the show? No, this torch thing's going to work out, Glenn. I'm taking night classes to be an electrician.
I was actually trying to get around my wife screaming at me the next time I blow the entire circuit in the house.
Right, okay.
It happened a few times.
Sure, I got it.
But they don't even...
They know something I don't know.
They don't even want to talk about it. And I
know.
mean, and these are issues that I'm actually really, really scared about, because take a look. It's a complete crazy circle catch-22 situation that's going on right now. On one hand, you have the youth are not able to basically survive in the economy right now. They're looking at things like
they're not able to survive in anything.
No,
in anything. If it's not cooked in a microwave, how many of our kids know how to cook? And even know where food comes from?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not able to survive. I read something about Teddy Roosevelt.
Robotics could definitely do that, right? I mean, you'd think if this stuff is coming away and these jobs are going away, who's going to need to know how to cook? I guess this becomes a really depressing conversation. I'm not surprised your son was like, gosh, this sucks and shuts down and that, like, because it's, I have a relative who owns a plumbing business, and he does great. He does awesome, and it's been incredible for him and his family. That being said, not everybody wants to be a plumber or electrician, right? Like there's
I know that.
So like if what you're the bad parent in the after school specials, like, just screw your dreams, you go be a plumber. Like, who wants to be that guy?
Not true. My daughter wants to do the absolute impossible. She wants to be an actress. I would love to say, screw your dreams, you're not doing that. And she talked about going to school. I could go up to, some university up in New York. And I'm like, that's not happening. You want me to pay for it? Not doing that. But have a good time. You want to earn it yourself? Go ahead. But I'm not sending you up into that viper's nest. But I said to her, let's design a school for you. Instead of paying all of this money, let me get private acting classes. Let me get, private dance classes. It's less than a university. And you know what really got her? It was like, you then don't have to study all the stuff that you're never, ever going to use. Mm-hmm. You don't need to take, advanced calculus or any, because you're never going to use that. You're never going to use that. Now, my son, he likes math. That's fine with him. But there are things when they are driven for something, you don't have to say, be a plumber. You can say, let's find ways for you to learn this in a better way.
Yeah. See, if you're making a point against the university system, you do not need to sell me. It's like trying to sell me on the Jasmine Crockett, candidacy. You do have to do no work on that one.
Right.
But I do think that it's interesting because I think you're right. I think a lot of these jobs are going to go away. In fact, they're already signs of this. I mean, to the extent of, the back and forth about, tariffs and all this other stuff, we've seen a decline in manufacturing jobs in this country this year. A decline. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's because, tariffs, are shutting down manufacturing any more than they would have previously. No. There's arguments about that. But I think more than anything else, people are just taking these jobs offline and automating them. All these big companies are replacing thousands of jobs. These announcements are in the news every day. And, it's going to be tough to figure out what the next thing is. I think you're right, like plumbing and electricians and all of these things are going to be very valuable, particularly in the short to medium term. But, it's tough to message that to a kid. Hey, just find this job that you don't really like and just do it because it's the only job that exists. It's not exactly an inspiring message.
So let me ask you a question, because maybe it's just me because of what I do, but I don't think it is. I married into the idea of AI. I wrestled with it hard. I mean, Stu, I've been talking about this since the 1990s, and I have been wrestling with this because it is a nuclear weapon in the hands of every single person. It's the most dangerous thing man has ever created and the greatest thing man has ever created, okay? And so you have to really be careful with it, and you have to know how to use it. But, I told, who was it? Sarah, I think I told you yesterday. I said, I cry at a Kleenex commercial, so, this doesn't mean anything. But I've gotten emotional using it recently because there has been stuff inside of me since I was 10. Things, dreams, ideas that I've always wanted to do. And I'm now being able to not only do those things, but do those things in a way that would have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. It would have taken me months to do. I couldn't do it. And I'm realizing now, as I'm scratching the surface, I'm learning more about history right now because I can grab the resources so fast. I can look into stuff and go, well, that doesn't seem right. And I can go deeper. What is the difference between doing that? As long as you are you're directing it and you're using it and checking the sources, et cetera, et cetera. What's that? What's the difference between that and almost like a book that was written for all of the questions you have? And because all it's doing is it's taking what you have inside of you and following that and mining for things that will make that stronger. I've learned so much history in the last year. I've learned so much about not just technology, but about my own nature on how I work, what I believe is right, what I believe is wrong. I mean, I've had this explosion because I'm using AI every day. And I don't understand why that's not considered like a university in its own way.
Can I give you, so you have a perspective of that through as a creative.
Yes.
And you're like, this is, thinking of the amazing things you can do with it. Can I give you the perspective of like my son's generation, or at least him and his friends? Yeah. This is what they're thinking. Wow, this sucks. The economy is so screwed. I will never be able to own anything my entire life. Now, this is what they're telling us, speaking from my son's perspective. But everyone's telling us, don't worry about it. We're going to build, and we're betting everything on AI. Okay, great. So it is going to get better, right? Oh, how many jobs are going to be destroyed? So I can't do that one thing that I wanted to do because of AI. So the solution to why I can't ever take part of the American dream is what's going to eventually take the job that I want to get so that I can someday get the American. They're in that circle and they're like, I'm screwed. And then you look at people like Elon Musk that says, don't worry about it because automation, I'm going to be building all these robots. It's going to completely solve world hunger. Wait a minute, but I won't have a job. So none of the math adds up. They're like, wait a minute.
No, it does. Remember, Stu, we've been talking about this problem for how many years, and I could not get anybody to listen. I couldn't get anybody to listen.
Thank you for thinking for yourself and being part of a movement, because that's really what all of this is. If you want the full story, you want to go deeper, go to blazetv.com/Glenn. Go there right now, sign up, no interruptions, just the truth, uncensored and unfiltered. Don't just watch, take a stand. And I'll see you over there in a minute.